In a brand new interview looking at the digital landscape and how much things have changed ever since the days of Netflix really coming out here and redefining what it meant to get TV shows and films to consumers and where it is now, where nobody is making a profit, Bob Iger once again stressed that streaming might not be the future, as it was once thought to be. And when asked to further explain how they are further going to offset some of these losses and whether or not they would produce more content on other IPs that haven't seen the light of day recently, Bob Iger confirmed, yes, we will. And he goes back to something he said just recently: selling IPs to rival networks is going to happen. So if you look at the streaming wars now, Netflix is cutting the amount of content they're putting out, and they're of course losing a ton of content to rivals. At the same time, we're seeing WB really struggling. We're seeing Paramount struggling. We're seeing Disney struggling. Everybody with a streaming service is struggling. So recently, speaking with multiple outlets and talking about the future, Bob Iger said what he said before. And this is the fact that they're looking to resume selling multiple properties, including big name franchises, which he wouldn't name, to rivals. Whether it's TV or film, he's looking at this. And he says that this worked in the past and it's probably going to work again, because containing everything to one or two services just isn't viable these days, because streaming doesn't provide you the same type of ad revenue that real TV does, and it's never going to offset that, and that's becoming a problem. So realistically looking at this, if we just kind of take a step back, you're kind of looking at, I think, the same thing we had about a decade ago. So for example, let's say ABC and some of their partner networks come up with a good pitch for Marvel TV. Well, that could once again be an option, like maybe a new version of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like Agents of Atlas or something on ABC. Or let's say properties that they're not really focusing on that somebody else might want to try. For example, Disney. They're doing nothing with Gargoyles. But who's to say they aren't able to sell Gargoyles to a rival network? Hey, Universal, you want to produce something with it? Here you go. You pay us the fee, we split the profits on this end, and here you go. So it sounds like that's definitely possible. And what's sounding even crazier is that nothing is off limits. And he said nothing. So who knows what this could ultimately lead to, but I could honestly see a future where we're in a scenario kind of like the Star Wars IP for video games, where once it was exclusive to EA, but now everybody can make a pitch and get their hands on it. So I wouldn't be surprised if years from now, like 2 to 3 years from now, we're looking at something like, hey, this Marvel TV series, guess what? It's going to be produced on X, Y, or Z. And you go, wait, really? Universal is producing a Marvel TV series? And they go, yeah, it was beneficial. It's standalone as well. Don't worry about it. So it's interesting that everybody's pivoting back to this after a decade of saying, nope, we're moving away from that. Crazy.